Hey guys, so we have been talking about calling, and now I'm going to try to explain what we were trying to do on Sunday. So this won't fully do it justice because it's just a short time. So if you have questions, hit me up, and rebuttals, hit me up. But the goal is for us to start thinking about this one simple question. Normally, this is a question we answer in life. Who am I? And this is a big question, yeah? Who am I? And I want us to start thinking about a different question. And the question is, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Who are you becoming? And the thing with that question is it allows you to get to a place where you have a freedom that sometimes this question does not allow you to have. The freedom of learning and growing. Sometimes what I found with myself when I'm here at home, I can easily feel stuck. But when I get to the favorite part of who am I becoming, I get to see that I have freedom because I'm able to let myself learn. So I give myself grace. I give myself the ability to ask. I give myself the invitation to try. Because if I'm becoming something, it means there are so many things I can do, so many things I can learn, so many ways I can try, and so many opportunities that I can jump into. While if it's just who am I, sometimes it feels like there's just one way to get to that. So you get to live your life as a kid or as an adult to just get to that thing that normally is a job. I want to be a pilot. I want to be, because that's who I am. And I want us to move from that. I want us to move from that. I want us to move to who am I becoming. Because when you move to who you're becoming, you are able in so many ways to walk in what God has called you to. Now the question is, so how do I get to be at a place where I know who I am becoming? What kind of things do I need to do? What kind of questions do I need to ask? So I'm going to take us through a small thing that I've been doing over the years with my own life. So I'm going to draw a box here, and I'm going to put my name in there. Yeah, this is a box. Come on, you know how when a box has traveled so much, it can do those things. So that's what's actually happening. The goal is to ask the question, who am I becoming? With the hope to answer, what has God called me to do specifically? That's the goal, right? That's the goal. What has God called me to do specifically? That is important to want to know. But when we talk about calling, it can be complicated. It can be something that is a little bit painful. But how do I figure out what I am becoming? And I want to start with simply, you have to know where you are. Before you get to wherever you need to be in life, you have to know where you are. So the question would be, where am I right now? What am I doing? What am I doing today? So where are you, or what are you doing today? And that will help you, because you realize that some of you are in school, you're doing business, and you are all over the place, or you're staying home, you're home, because that gives you a way to figure out what to do and where to go next. So where am I is a question. What am I doing right now? Now, as you're asking that question, you realize that you're either happy or not in that place. So the question to ask next is, what makes me happy? But that doesn't sound as much fun, because that sounds a little bit more selfish. But let's look at it as what's more fulfilling to my heart. What moves me? What gives me joy? Yes, you're Christians. That's the way to ask it. What gives me joy, or what makes me fulfilled? Fulfilled. And when you start asking that question, you realize things that you need to deal with. Like seriously, you realize sometimes what makes you fulfilled can be as small as money. And I'm saying as small as money. Things, yeah? Having plenty of things makes you fulfilled. Then you get to realize that life is not about things. Life is not about money. These things are important in life, but life can be more than that. So in that process of asking, what gives me joy? What makes me fulfilled? I want you to start really digging deep, like at the core of who you are. What really gives you joy? What makes you fulfilled? And sometimes you realize is when people accept you. When people accept you. People's approval, that's what we're talking about. You know? And if I'm to borrow a crazy words, if you live for people's approval, you die from their rejection. And that's sad. That's really sad. So what gives you joy? What keeps you fulfilled? Because when you start thinking deeper, you will get beyond the small things and realize that there's so much pain in the world, like so much pain, and that sometimes you just want to do something about it. So doing something about pain, about poverty, about injustices is the one thing that gets you fulfilled. Not having money, not people accepting you, not people thinking you're cool, you're better. It is the small important things that gives you joy. Is seeing other people get out of, get out of pain, poverty, shame. And the list is endless here. That it's what keeps you fulfilled is seeing other people get better in life. You realize then that the limiting thing in your life has been thinking that what gets you better, what keeps you fulfilled, is having things, is having people think you are something else, is having people want something else from you. Then you realize that, oh man, there's more to my life than the job that I had always wanted to study for, the business I have always wanted to have, and the home or whatever it is that I've always wanted to accumulate. Then you realize that life is not about accumulating stuff. Life is about doing something that gets your heart fulfilled. And that is not just sports. It's in that sports helping people get to their biggest potential. It's not just the sport itself. It's people to just have joy and have fun. But you are getting there by figuring out where you are and then asking, what gives me joy? What keeps my heart fulfilled? And why? Don't skip this part. Because when you don't know your whys, you bend to any other reason. You bend to any other opportunity. But when you know your why, then you know the reason why I want to do this thing because it gives me fulfilled is because people get to be appreciated. It restores value in people. So why do we do what we do? It's value, people's worth. Yeah? Some of you, what keeps you fulfilled is when women who God made them to be at the core of who they are. They're not abused, they're not taken for granted. Men are not using the Bible to make women feel they're inferior and all those things. When people look at each other and find their true value and worth, that's what keeps you fulfilled. And that why is important. Your why is super important because that's what energizes you. Energizes you. That's what inspires you and encourages you. Encourage. So you need to be asking this question. The first one is, where am I? And then, what gives me joy? What keeps me fulfilled? And then, we are still on the journey of figuring out who we are becoming or what God has called us. So, doing and then we have the fulfilled, then I want us to ask another question, which is, what needs around you is your heart moving towards? So when we're talking about what fulfills us, do you actually thought about needs? You thought about what you can think about every other day to be something that is helpful for people. So here you actually basically narrowing that down. Like, okay, what needs in the city of Blantyre, in Lilongwe, in my hood, Majinjiri, what needs are there that my heart is beating for? What do I need to respond at? What is my heart resonating with? What is just pumping my heart so hard? What needs? You're asking that question. So you start putting them down. I want to do something about orphans. I want to do something about widows. I want to do something about street kids. I want to do something about young mothers. I want to do something about the fathers in our city, the addicts. I want to do something about my own story that has a lot of addiction in the past, and I struggle with it now. So you asking what needs are there, meaning now you're able to see people. You're not just seeing projects, you're not just seeing things, you're seeing people. You're able to now look and go like, I'm actually surprised all these needs are around me. So you asking what needs are there that I can respond to. There, one of my favorite questions is, because it's close to here, what needs, is what are my abilities? What are my abilities? Or what am I good at? Yeah? What are my abilities? What am I good at? Then you realize, you know what? It's the small things. I'm good at hosting people. I'm good at chatting with people. I'm good at sharing my story. I'm good at the small little details. What am I good at? I'm good at cooking. I'm good at, providing for people. I'm good at, so these small things that might not look as special now completely changes and turn into something new. Because now you realize that there are needs and you have abilities. And that is a big deal. Those abilities are things God has allowed you to learn over time. Those abilities are God installed in your path to learn and to use them for something. So there are needs, but there are things that fulfill you, but you are at a certain place. So you see how we're moving. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is the response. What opportunities are around me that I need to respond? Now you know the needs. Now you have the abilities. Now is the response. What can you respond to? How can you respond with the abilities and with the needs? Do you need to ask people? Do you need to invite other people? Do you need to organize something? Do you need to volunteer? And for some of us, that's our first step. We need to volunteer our time, our resources, and our abilities to the needs we are seeing that moves us despite where we are today. Are you following that? So by the end of the day, you realize that you are not just a job, but you have become someone through asking a lot of questions. You have become someone that helps others. That's it. Help others. Now, help them do what? That's different with different people. For me, what I've realized that God has invited me to do is to help other people fall in love with Jesus. But I cannot help people fall in love with Jesus if I'm not in love with Jesus. For some of you, you want to help other people find their worth. But you can't do that unless you have found your worth. Some of you, you want other people to flourish. That means you have to learn and you have to be at a place where you're flourishing yourself. Now, why is this important? Why are all these things important? It's because what drives you in life stops being money, stops being just cool opportunities. Because now, with every opportunity, you measure it by asking, will this help me become a person that helps others? Are you seeing that? Will this help me become a person that helps others? Help others do what? Flourish. Help others do what? Grow in their life. Help others learn business. Help others be discipled. Help others what? Learn how to budget, which is a big deal. You gotta budget that money. Help what? That's what you do right there. Meaning every opportunity, you look at it that way. Every relationship, you look at it that way. There are relationships that will help us stop becoming the person that help other people. What do you do with those relationships? You don't try to just do stuff and stay because you feel someone will feel bad. You realize that it is more important for you to help other people grow. You get out in that space. Those kind of relationships. If you are at that place of becoming someone that help other people flourish, you realize that budgeting is important, so you learn it. You know saving is important, so you learn it. You know how all these other things are important, so you learn it. Even your purity, your lifestyle. You know that you cannot just get in relationship, get out, get in, get out, and just treat people aimlessly if your goal is to help other people. So you build boundaries. That's what I wanted to finish with. The boundaries we build in life. Big word. Only makes sense if they support who we are becoming. The boundaries you're going to build from today should support who you're becoming. So who are you becoming, my friend? I love you. See you at Flat Church. God bless you.